Big Walder Frey finally makes it home, though it is a foreboding feeling knowing that um, all four of his friends had been killed by this strange creature from the Castle of the Dam in strange armor, though his ribs were showing, with a wicked-looking uh, one-sided edged, jagged sword. He occasionally looks over his shoulder to make sure he's not being followed. But the eerie feeling that he has, and knowing what he saw, he can't shake out of his head. So he enters in through the gate, crosses the bridge, and makes it to the two twin towers. And then from there, continues on, though people look at him strangely like there's something wrong with him. He tries to pull his hand, which he notices is turning black, up through his sleeve so nobody will notice, and finally makes it in to the castle of House Frey. Well, it's about time you showed up. I hope that's not all you brought, just a bag of, what, trinkets? No, well, it's what I came up with. But there might be something of value inside you might appreciate. Really. Well, I'm going to converse with these people here first, the rest of the family, and see what they have. And so it goes into a musical scene as everybody brings chests of gold, silver, and copper, and other treasures forward as he takes a seat to go over what he had experienced. When it got to Big Walder Frey's bag, uh, King Stefan then opens the bag and looks at it, rummages around through it. And this is it. Well, it's all that we could get. Yes, and speaking of we, where is the other four that went with you? They didn't make it. Excuse me, they didn't make it. Where in the heck did you go to get this little bit of stuff? We discovered something. A bunch of Red Road people coming out of a place that I've never seen before. Perhaps it was partly melted from the Great White Walker War. So we went to check it out. We thought maybe we might find some treasures in there. It looked kind of mysterious, like a castle that was long since buried under a snowdrift. When we went inside, we saw nothing usually except an altar and, in some of the lower levels, crypts. Seer grave robbing. Well, it seemed to be a likely place, and since whoever's buried or put in there don't need the treasures, why shouldn't we use it? Because that would bring a bad omen upon us. That still doesn't explain where your friends are. Well, I didn't see what happened to the first two of them, but they screamed out in pain. Martin came up, said that something got woke up, was very pissed off, was very big and very fast. When we heard the third one, our third family member, he was putting up a pretty good fight, but lost. So Martin and I decided it was time to go, but this thing could run real fast. He was real tall. All I know is that he told me to run, and I felt something hit me in the back of the neck. Yes, I could see most likely his blood. It looked like a creature with armor. You sure you weren't out in the north too long? No, I'm serious. This is not a White Walker, because that's what Jon Snow said when I ran into him. Oh, you ran into Jon Snow. I'm surprised he didn't try to stop you. He did. But I was able to knock him on his butt and get away. There should be inside there a steel tube. I believe it's Valyrian steel and silver, and it should turn quite the coin. So King Stefan looks again. I see no tube. It's got to be in there. And then he starts rummaging through it. Oh, man. Is there something you want to explain? Must have fell out of a damn bag when I knocked Jon Snow on his butt. I suppose I could go back and get it. If, whatever that thing is not after me. You weren't followed? No, not that I know of. Kind of thinks for a moment. Well, I think the best thing to do is you don't leave the castle. Apparently, you did something, and you guys weren't supposed to be grave robbing anyway. Now, I have to send people out to search for them, and most likely clean up your mess. Do you understand? You are not to leave the castle. Guard. Yes. He does not leave the castle. He is restricted. And I got to get a search party to find out what happened to the other 4. Very well, Your Grace. So he goes over and blocks the doorway, and Big Walder just sits. May I see your hands? Maester comes up. This too. Did it have something sharp on it? Yeah, it stuck me and it hurt kind of bit. And, well, I stuck it in the bag. Sounds like something ancient. Something I heard about long ago. Is he going to lose his hand? Not if we can help it. But I may have to send out a crow. There might be somebody who knows something more about this than I do. Well, looks like you're going to be here for a while. Yeah, like I really have a choice. Better here than King 7 walks out of the Frey meeting room. Need you to do me a favor? Yes, Your Grace, what can I do for you? Well, I need you to go get some men together and find out what happened to all 4 of those men. Do you think he had something to do with it? No. Little Walder Frey was one that was a goof-off. This one here talks too much. It's not a kinslayer. But something happened, and he's very worried about something that's out lurking about outside. I want to make sure nothing's also followed him. I'll stick this small bag of trinkets of his grave robbing activity in a safe place, in case that's what they're coming after. But if they want him, we might have to make it to where they'll have to get him through us. As you wish. I will get them together and go and do the search party. Thank you. Well, out there. So with that, then it's just a matter of if or when the Dark Lord Vizier should come up through the Frey Kingdom. "Ah, my scout has returned. What's your report?" "Well, we picked up a trail. I do believe this rat that you're looking for has made it to a place with twin towers across the river." "Really? So the question is, do I cross the bridge through the two towers to get the last rat, or do I continue on with our mission?" Indeed, a decision to make. "Well, you're my trusted advisor. What do you suggest?" "I think that if it means that much to get the last rat that woke you up, by all means do so. On the other hand, if you feel it's more valuable to conquer this world, I would get the rat later as a form of celebration, and then you can do with him what you will after you conquer the world. But that's just my opinion." "Indeed. Well, I won't make a decision right now, but I'm pretty certain that your words of wisdom as an advisor does carry some weight. Since there is no time to waste, I will make my decision when we reach the phrase as what we shall do. You may go." "Thank you, my lord." And so he rides off. Well, I suppose, and that means then there won't be any fun for me to go leading men astray. "You'll in due time. You must remember your place. Besides, there'll be plenty of others you can tempt." "You're eager to be on the side of deception. I appreciate that. We continue our march." "Yes, my lord." And so they continue on. Now, the House Martell conclusion. Hey, you up there, Princess Arianne? She looks out the window. Wow, there is a face I have not seen for a very long time. So what is going on? I have not had any food or anything to drink for the longest time. Well, it is kind of a long story. Here, take this. Throws a rope up at her through the open window, missing Princess Arianne as she steps aside. Tied to something firmly. So, Princess Arianne takes rope and goes back inside. Now what? Is it secure? Yeah, I tied it to my bedpost. I want you to climb over the railing as carefully as you can and down the rope. I don't have the key to the door. All right. Comes up to the window. I'm climbing down. After a while, Princess Arianne loses her grip and falls backward in a shriek. Ah! With feet in the air and lands in thick grass and flowers, and dress falling, exposing her flower briefly, but lowers her legs. And down she goes. Everyone bursts out with laughter in an uproar. She gets up suddenly, taking leaves out of her hair and brushing herself off, freely, feeling very embarrassed. Y'all think this is very funny? No, but it was an unusual, graceful fall. Well, for your information, it was not very graceful at all. As a princess, I should be going out the door, not the window. Well, at least you're out the window, even if you did kind of fly down. Oh, shut up! Everyone starts laughing again. So it becomes quite the humor. So after everyone is done joking and japing about the incident with much laughter, everyone settles down. Well, do you remember the gang here, don't you? Yes, I do. Diesel Dalt on his horse, with his funny yet not so funny comment, and his younger brother Andre Dalt. Everyone certainly remembers you, and Damon Sam. Thanks for the rescue. And Gerald Dane. We had a lot of fun together, didn't we? My honor in saving you. But we're not going to talk about the fun times now, are we? No, smiles with a flirtatious smile. Since we have some things to catch up on, first we need to get you something to eat this evening. Yes, we have much to talk about. Speaking of things to talk about, have you heard about what happened to Taid Sad, your best friend? Yes. Although, for those who did bring me food and drink, they were almost very reluctant to tell me anything. In any case, Tyne was poisoned by the same method as we do to our enemies, by Queen Cersei. And then I hear she died pregnant in the arms of the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister. How poetic is that? Then I heard my deceased uncle, Oberyn Martell's paramour, mother to the Sand Snakes, Ellaria Sand, was chained up in the same cell of the Red Keep's dungeon, forced to watch Tyene die a slow, painful death from the poisonous kiss, even though her daughter was my best friend. Yeah, well, it was not a good way to go for a warrior who was a sand snake. But have you heard anything else? Yes. Then I heard a tale. That tale might explain why I was left up in the tower with no food and drink, and was lucky if I even got anything or something to drink. It was as if they were trying to erase me as though I didn't exist. Well, I didn't always agree to my father, Duran Martell, not making the proper decisions, and let me live my life the way it should have been. The tale I hear is that Ellaria Martell has done something to my father. Is this true? reluctant to answer right away. Yeah, Prince Durod, your father, was killed, stabbed in the heart by your deceased uncle Oberyn's paramour, Ellaria San, after Tyene killed his guard, and the other two killed other guards. Then anger starts welling up in Princess Arianne's eyes. My father, killed by the mother of bastard-born daughters, a woman who couldn't keep her legs crossed, and by two unknown men, had nothing but bastard-born daughters, the sand snakes. Kill my father. Well, while I may not have agreed to my father's indecisions, I would not be a kinslayer. My father's life was not Ellaria San's to take. She will be dealt with swiftly, and most certainly severely, as she was not even married to my deceased uncle, Oberyn Martell. I will be somewhat kindred, as I will give her a choice, death or banishment from the palace for all time, under penalty of death. Then looks at the Dalton brothers. You two, go fetch. Fetch her now. Don't worry, Your Grace. We'll find the bitch. Let's ride, Andre. So they take off on their horses with 10 horsemen. And who do we have here? Well, this one here is from a descendant of Targaryens. Not necessarily Blackfyre, but from other many descendants. And she has quite the warrior spirit. And what is your name? I am Lanari Sunrea Martell. I was married to Prince Quentin before he died, in secret. I was a princess, but the committee thought I was feeble-minded and a bastard-born. I don't recall my birth, actually, but my sword and skills are yours, Your Grace. She smiles. And your service to protect me, I gladly accept. Then moves on to the next lady guard. And this one, known as the Protector, is also going to be your sworn guard. And what might your name be? Asiamia Dorma, Your Grace. My sword is your sword. I thought you looked Dornish. Your name is very fierce, and as fierce as a Targaryen and a Martell. I accept your sworn servitude. And looks at both of them. Very well then. I hereby declare you both Lady Knights of the Queen's Guard of House Martell. Both of them bow humbly in respect. I like this very much. I am pleased that you have accepted them, for these are dangerous times, Your Grace. Yes, I agree. Well, I need to tell all of you right now, given the circumstances, like the Great White Walker War, so I must have missed much, and the incident that happened at the Red Keep at King's Landing sounds to me like a rumor is going around about a possible return of a dead Dragon Queen, though I have not heard much before my food and drinks quit coming. Is this rumor true? I mean, I hear that there has been a chance for new activity being at Dragonstone. We have heard some things, but have nothing confirmed yet. Well, if you do, I wish to be kept informed. If it should come about, I wonder. It would be nice to know, if possibly, as to whether Daenerys is back around. Perhaps two of us queens could be victors over the enemy. Yes, that would be quite the alliance. Diesel Dahl then rides back with 10 men and his younger brother, Andre Dahl. We brought you a stray dog. Ellaria Sands tied hands free of her bonds and led her by foot. And she was a bit fussy, but being outnumbered, I think she knows who the Sunspear Crane is that wants to have some words with her. Throws down her rope bonds. What is the meaning of this? Well, I have been in the tower too long, and certain people feel that there is just too much room to not have anyone in charge. I don't think you're going to be in charge. You didn't even marry my uncle over in Martell, though you are the mother of bastards. You know, you never used to say that about my kids. Yes, and you used to not betray my father, Prince Duran, of whom I learned is dead. Larya Sands is then hesitant at first, then looking down, then back up at Princess Arianne. Well, your father sided with the enemy, betrothing your young brother to the daughter of an evil queen who is bucking her own brother, Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, behind King Robert the First Baratheon's back, under his own nose, while he was yet a fool himself. So, did you murder my father before you murdered my new friend, Princess Arianne Lannister, with a kiss of death? Or after you killed my father? I can't hold you at fault for the murder of my young brother, or the personal guard of my father, but you are a murderous wench with no royal ties, and a whore to not even being that attractive to any man. I don't blame your remaining daughters that you're just a common whore of the realm of kingdoms. How dare you speak to me like that? She attempts to approach Princess Arianne, but the two new lady guards stop her with the point of their swords. Princess Arianne holds up her left hand, and Ilaria Sands stops, and the lady guards holster their swords. Shh! With no food coming in, no drink, hoping I would die of hunger and thirst. It's as if people wanted me to disappear as though I didn't exist. But that time is now over, and the throne of House Martell has been empty for far too long. No one else has a valid claim to it but me. I will sit the throne of House Martell, and you will answer for what has happened to my father. He may not have been good in making the best of decisions, but his life was not yours to take. But Princess Arianne holds her hand up again for Ilaria to remain silent. Since you're not even related by marriage to House Martell, and never admired my deceased uncle Oberyn Martell, punishment for murdering a prince of Dorne is punishable by death in the pit of vipers and manticores. So you have much to think about, and you better be thinking about the answer you give me. Lock her up. Daemon Sand takes Keys and Ilaria, and they start walking away. And as Ilaria walks away, looking a bit worried, as she is led away, staring in the eyes of Princess Arianne, as she is led to the dungeon cell. Let's go. Tomorrow you get your trial. And thus ends the scene. In King's Landing, everything is in a hustle and bustle, people doing their business like usual. And since the Great Sept Baylor is nearly finished in its construction, everyone enjoys seeing that the Red Keep has finally finished its repairs. Back at the usually what would be considered the capital of brothels, a man from not Walder Frey's side, but Walder Frey's brother's side, one known as Jordan Frey, cousin to all the others, decides to buy from the gold that he has the old brothel. Upon the transaction being done, he enters inside and sees the women in there. What's going on in here? And they're all looking at each other in shock. I'm sorry, we didn't know that this was going to be serviced anymore. We have nowhere else to go, and we can't get a job. And rather than be homeless, though we didn't draw any attention to ourselves, we managed to use this place as a place of residence. Well, that will no longer be necessary. I am now the owner, And this place is going to be coming back for business. Really? Well, that's very exciting. Glad you think so. Why don't you take the few women here and all go celebrate? Go get yourselves a nice hot bath, and then you get some coins, and get yourself something to eat. Yes, thank you. You just call me Jordan. Okay, Jordan. Thank you very much. And so she takes off. Well, this place is really opening. And who might you be? Lily. Sometimes they call me Lily Blaze, but you can just simply call me Lily. All right, well, Lily, I decided to do some investing. I mean, after all, while the others of House Frey are going about trying to figure out how to raise the funding that's almost done depleted, I decided to do something as easy as someone known as Peter Baelish or Littlefinger used to do. Yes, I think I somewhat remember him, but I was a bit young back then. Well, I would like to appoint you as the madam of the house. When I'm away doing other business, you will be the one in charge. Um, the other lady, um, she will be in charge of all the ladies and your assistant to make sure they're healthy, not coming down with illness that would infect clients. You understand? Yes. You'll be paid well for your services, and to make sure nothing happens to while I'm in my absence. At the same time, I don't think we have to worry about the so-called Faith Militant, because most of them were destroyed in the Great Sept of Baelor anyway, and what few that remain, I don't see them trying to stir trouble up, being so few in numbers. I would agree. So, then, when do you plan to make the announcement of being open? As soon as we get this place cleaned up. Mark Bingham should have been here cleaning. Actually, he is here. Um, so I will go ahead and check on them to make sure everything's going well then. Yes, you may go. So she walks off. Mark Bingham, a renovation contractor, comes out with a very large painting. No, no, no. Where are you going with that? What, this whole thing? He kind of laughs about it. It's dusty, and who'd want an ugly mug on their wall? Well, maybe to you, but this ugly mug has experience. And what better way to commemorate the place than one who once owned all these brothels and he had so much wisdom that I'm sure even his IQ would excel mine. So, what do you want me to do with it? Leave it, or you can hang it on the wall. In fact, I like that idea a lot better. All right, so he hangs it on the wall. Then they both stand back and look at it. You know what's interesting? While I may be from House Frey, and most of us Kingdom probably thinks House Frey are a bunch of yokel idiots, except for me. I come not from Walder's side, but the brother to Walder's side. I'd like to think that I could barely, or maybe somewhat, follow in the shadow and footsteps that Littlefinger once had when he ran this place. But it'll be interesting to read through old dusty books and see what kind of wisdom I can gain from his business tactics and everything. Well, whatever floats your boat, you may go. And be sure to be here tomorrow morning so we can resume cleaning this place up. Aye, sir. So he leaves. Then, unexpectedly, the prince comes in. Well, I didn't expect this place to be open. Well, officially, we're not. But then you would be my first customer. I didn't think a Martell would ever come back in this place. Well, Prince Oberyn and his lady Used to frequent this place a lot before the great Septa Baylor got blown. Why should it be any different for me? You got a good point. Well, you'll have to forgive the mess, because I just acquired the place. We got a lot of dusting, cleaning up to do, and there's going to be some renovations to get this place looking a little more attractive and up to speed and up to date. I see. Well, shall I come back then and maybe see if you're open for business? If you don't mind the things being kind of moved around and getting cleaned up, sure, by all means. I'm sure the ladies would love to see some first-time customer. We don't have a whole lot of ladies yet, but what few we do have, I think are going to be most happy that they could start making money again themselves. All right, I'll come back here in, we'll say, about a few hours then. That sounds good to me. So the Prince of Duran steps outside, thinking about something that when Dana told him about loose lips or something, knows that he made the right choice, not saying anything else about their meeting. And so he slowly walks down the street as Jordan pitches in and starts doing sweeping and everything else to get the place cleaned up.
Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes with a voice wielding power of the ancient Lord Art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed and the legend yet grows. You'll know the Dragonborns come. Dain vokul na verakas tal Arfinor palgan Fudnos honsing grossan Dovakin fahim kogan mundra. Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you the Dragonborn comes with a voice wielding power of the ancient Lord Art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. Dain vokul na verakas tal Arfinor palgan Fudnos honsing grossan Dovakin fahim